What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing my tank build for the Omega fight. Now, at least at the time of this recording, which is October 4th, okay, there is still a lot of people that are struggling with this fight, and I don't blame you. It's a hard fight. I've played all of World and Iceborne, all of Rise and Sunbreak, and now Wilds, so I am a more newer hunter. However, I have since beat it, and I have also beaten the alpha variant, or the savage variant, okay? Which means I've crafted everything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to showcase with you guys the story variant, or the non-savage, the non-extreme variant, whatever, the tempered one, the tank build that I use to do it with the help of support hunters, because the majority of people are trying to do this in SOS and they're not working. Okay, you can do this, and I'm actually going to have 3 different builds. One for tanking, which is this video, one for DPS, which will be another video, and one for support, which will be another video. So that being said, let's get into it. Okay, to start, when you are tanking, you have 2 options. At least in my opinion, you have 2 options. You have the gun lance, and you have the regular lance. I opt for gun lance, and the reason I opt for gun lance is because we already know the G Lawful Boars is an insane gun lance, okay? It pumps out a ton of damage. It is dragon element, which means Omega is weak to it, okay? And then on top of that, it allows you to gain enmity easier because you can charge up your Wyvern Fire shot and directly aim it at its head, in which case it's 1,000 damage straight to the noggin. It lets you pick up the enmity, the aggro, a lot easier, assuming you are going for the tank roll. Follow up, Queen Cordmaker. This is the Rarity 8 Rathian Hunting Horn. The reason I suggest this is because at the very beginning of the fight, and in every instance after, when Omega runs away and goes to the next locale, you're going to want to re-up your buffs. What buffs, you might ask? Attack up large, recovery speed large, that's it. The reason you want to go ahead and do both of these with a Horn Maestro on your hunting horn is because it is going to allow you to have buffs for the majority of the fight in that locale, okay? Now that we've gone over the weapons, let's go ahead and go over the armor. We have Numinous Crown Beta and Numinous Shroud Beta. We have Arc Vulcan Van Braces Beta, Arc Vulcan Coil Beta, and then we have the Uthuna Greaves Gamma. I'm hoping that if you guys are trying to fight Omega, you've at least beat one of the Arch-Tempered monsters. That being Radial or Uthuna. If you have done that, this slot right here is interchangeable with the Gamma Radial Greaves. I opted for the Uthuna because Quick Sheath. Quick Sheath is really, really nice. And then on top of that, thanks to the decoration slots, we have Agitator maxed out. Lastly, we have a Secret Charm. My Secret Charm is Critical Element with Defense Boost. I am mainly using this for Defense Boost. I could have used my Rarity 8 defense boost charm and had 5 levels of defense, but I didn't need it. Okay, I would rather have critical element in the extra level 1 slot. If you have one that is rolled similarly to this with at least 4 levels of defense with a level 1 armor decoration slot, perfect, use that. If you don't, just level up the defense one as far as you can get it, ideally to a minimum of 4. Okay, next up is the Mending Mantle. When you are doing this fight, for the love of God, get off Corrupted, get off Evasion Mantle. If you are trying to do this fight and you are still struggling with it, do not be the guy that goes to use Corrupted Mantle and loses your health and then gets carded. Especially if you're trying to do this with randoms online, okay? Do yourself a favor, just put on Mending Mantle. It has a 10-minute recharge time, and it lasts for 80 seconds, assuming you don't get hit a whole lot. But paired with everything else, it is an insane amount of healing. Lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at our decorations. For our gun lance, we have Artillery Jewel 3, Shield and Iron Wall, and then an Iron Wall. This is going to give us Guard Up level 3, which is going to allow us to block all of the beams that Omega spawns, as well as the fire and all of his kind of like beam projectile attacks, okay? On top of that, we have Guard. The reason Guard is so good, but is because it's going to reduce the amount of stamina that we are losing when we guard, okay? On top of that, next up on the hunting order, we have Sonorous with attack, and then just 2 KO jewels. This is just to filter everything out. The only thing you actually need is Sonorous, the Horn Maestro. And that detail states greatly increases the effect duration of hunting horn melodies. I'm not exactly sure how long it increases, but it feels like it's almost double. Okay, so Horn Maestro. Next up, we have 2 jumping jewels. The reason for this, on lances, because I am telling you, if you are tanking, use lance or gun lance, okay? You can hop out of the Merv missiles. If you have aggro enmity and you are using or getting hit by the Merv missiles, 9 times out of 10 it's going to hit you 6 times. If it hits you 6 times and you get hit by one of them, you can get out, but it's a little harder. But what you can do is you can guard, block 1, and then backstep out, thanks to 2 levels of evade extender. Okay? On top of that, we have 3 refresh jewels. The reason for the refresh jewels is because we want to make sure that our stamina is coming back as fast as humanly possible. If you don't know that when you're on lance, gun lance, when you are guarding, you take a little bit of stamina reduction. When that stamina reduction hits 0 and you don't have any left, you don't guard anymore. Which means you can't just hold your guard button down. You have to sit there and let it come back and try to perfect guard, okay? Next up, we have fire resistance. The reason we choose fire resistance is because there is a lot of attacks that you are going to get caught by that are fire-based. This fire resistance is going to allow you to survive longer. The alternative could be, if you have the 4 levels of defense boost, like I suggested, you could opt into defense. The reason for defense is because 3 more levels would take you up to a maximum of level 7. You would get a bonus 35 plus a 10% increase, and your elemental resistances would be plus 5, which means you would still get increased fire resistance. The alternative being protection jewel. And that is actually going to be something that I get into with the food buff, which we'll get into in just a second. So fire resistance can be swapped, can be maneuvered around with defense or protection, divine blessing. Okay. Next up is the challenge jewel. This is because all of the other armor pieces that we have end up turning it into maxed out agitator. Most of these skills are to make sure that we stay alive, but we also want to make sure that we're pumping out good damage, which is the other reason we're using G-Lawful Bores. G-Lawful Bores as a whole, and on Gun Lance, doesn't require affinity stacking. It just needs raw attack, because that's how Gun Lance shelling works, is it's raw, okay? Lastly, we have 1 recovery jewel and 2 medicine. The reason for this is because thanks to Zoshia's Pulse and Arkfeld's Hunger, we are going to get a little bit of health whenever we attack a monster. Recovery varies by weapon, we already knew this. And Zoshia's Pulse, Super Recovery 1. We are going to slowly raise our health. These 2 skills mixed with an immunizer, which you activate at the beginning of a fight, allow you to heal an obscene amount passively. Okay, and this is just you as a tank. If you have someone dedicated to rocking a support build, which we'll get into eventually, you will be able to survive, okay? On top of that, we have recovery speed level 3. The reason I opt for this, recovery speed 3 over recovery up, is because recovery speed is going to make it easier to get that red health back. You'll notice that when you are fighting Omega, there is a ton of attacks. These attacks just keep stacking with each other. They keep chaining together. Because they chain together, it makes it impossible, at least sometimes, to be able to get up. This allows you to, while you are guarding, take red health, and then it slowly come back. You mix it with the activation of your Mending mantle, and you will survive full-on onslaughts, okay? Recovery up is also good, and it is argued that you could go recovery up level 3 instead of recovery speed level 3 and just flip-flop. I opted to have recovery up after some testing. I felt like the greatly increased recovery that you get, it's good, but I didn't notice it as effectively as the recovery speed going from a triple to a quadruple, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into what I think you guys should be eating, okay? The reason there is actual information behind this, and why at least I'm going to discuss it, is because you have 2 real ones when you are going to fight Omega. You have the Springy Kunafa cuisine and the Fresh Sealed cuisine. If you are trying to do this with support hunters, what I would recommend, at the very least, at least if you're trying to do this with support hunters and you don't have Divine Blessing, remember I talked about the fire resistances, defense boost, or Divine Blessing, you would want to go with Sild. The reason you want to go with Sild is because it is going to give you insurance. Thankfully, all of these meals do. But it's also going to give you Moxie. Moxie is going to prevent one attack that is above the little yellow bar that you see on my health bar, right in the middle right there. That is going to allow it, if you get hit for all of your health up to that point, it will take you down to 1 HP and you will survive. Okay? It is almost like a secondary life. The problem is that you are one shot, so you need to make sure that you are okay. Okay? So make sure you have a max potion ready. The alternative, if you are choosing to do fire resistance, you can do insurance and defender, thanks to Springy Kunafa. Defender is kind of like Divine Blessing, is going to often decrease the damage taken, meaning you'll be able to tank more hits. Okay, this isn't going to affect your stamina, it's not going to do anything like that, but it is going to make it easier for you to keep taking those chain hits. And when you have enmity, when you have aggro, you're going to take a lot of them. Okay, on top of that, the only other thing that I can recommend specifically is a dedicated item loadout. And this item loadout, I'm going to expect you guys to pop at the very beginning of each hunt, okay? So you can see I have one specifically here just for Omega. The reason we are going over an item loadout is because there's a lot of people that may not know, okay? There is a radial menu in the game. That radial menu, if you activate, in my case, in the bottom right at my item bar, you can see it says tab. Tab lets me circle through this radial menu, meaning I can activate things a lot easier than having to scroll through it or click it on my keyboard. And for those of you that are on controller, this is even easier, okay? The reason I am telling you guys you need to have certain things is because you need to make sure that you have the base game power charm and arm charm. It's going to increase your attack. It's going to increase your defense. You're going to want to make sure that you have mega, regular potions, ancient potions, and max potions. I am fully aware that megas and regular potions do not heal for a lot. However, sometimes you don't need a full max potion, and because you're limited on those supplies, you want to make sure that you still have a way of healing without letting your passive health do it, but also you want to make sure that you're not wasting supplies. On top of that, you'll want hot drinks, mega demon drug, mega armor skin. Now that barrel bowling can be used for nourishing extract, you need to be doing at least a little bit of barrel bowling so that you can get these items. If you can get these items and craft it, it's going to last for 30 minutes, and you will be able to survive a hell of a lot longer. Because the amount of increases that you are going to get from these, the hunting horn buffs and everything like that, is nuts. The hot drink, this is just to make sure that you're not taking stamina reduction from the cold. On top of that, you want Dust of Life and Life Powders. This is to make sure that even though you are tanking, you can heal other people, okay? Sometimes someone's going to get caught. You're going to need to help them. This is what this mode in this hunt is all about, is that it is based around Final Fantasy XIV raid mechanics, which means you guys need to work together, okay? Lastly, rations, Mandragora, and Catalyst. The reason for these is because on our radio menu, we are going to make sure that we have the ability to craft max potions on the fly. I'll show you guys how to do that. The last important part to this is the Soul of the Pictomancer. This Soul of the Pictomancer is insane, okay? It does a solid amount of damage. Basically, it is a damage stacking 30-second cooldown that hits Omega decently hard. At least the very last one, Palm Motif, there's some wind one, and then one that looks like a Mugu Kamehameha, okay? They do, I think, somewhere around, I think it's like 350-ish damage, and then it's like 600 damage, and then it's like 1,000, okay? Having those active are literally free sources of damage that you don't have to actually do anything with. You just need to not get hit while you're casting, and it's free, okay? Last but not least, we're going to customize a radio menu. Customizing a radio menu is going to allow you to do a couple things. You can see here in my level 2 slot, we have this little green bar with this crafting symbol for max potions. And the reason for it is because in your crafting set, right here, which is the 4th tab over, you can go ahead and just click max potion, click all, and boom, it's saved. Now all you need to do is back, customize radio. You'll want to, at least in my case, I'm clicking shift. For you guys, it would be whatever your manage loadouts button is. Click it. You'll go ahead and click, in my case, R. So for my submenu, you'll go to register loadout, save this loadout. This is going to be your dedicated Radial slot specifically for Omega. You'll see mine is very small. Mine is max potion crafting, dust to life, and then the rest of this is just cosmetic stuff. Okay. Overall, guys, Omega is a hard fight. I will not lie. I know a lot of people are struggling, and that's why I am trying so hard to come out with all of these builds this week. That way everybody's still struggling, even though it is here permanently, are able to beat it as soon as possible. And if you guys don't know, I am willing to help you guys on stream. Monday through Sunday, varying days, of course, I stream on Twitch over at SnyperSama, just like my YouTube channel. Okay? If you guys end up needing help with this fight, you are welcome to join the Discord, and you are welcome to come into stream on nights that I'm playing Monster Hunter and ask for help, and I will see with my crew what we can do to help you guys out. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, there is not going to be a weapon showcase because I did a hell of a lot of yapping in this video. This is my Omega tank build. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys are able to take out this behemoth of a monster. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.